every single day for the next 30 days. So you guys basically have all of November. Every single morning when you go and you brush your teeth, right? You brush your teeth, I want you guys to do this, these two things. And it's so simple, but it is so powerful. Is you look in the mirror, point right at yourself and say, I am beautiful and I am enough. I am beautiful and by God Almighty, I am enough. I am enough. And I've got everything I need to be successful. Those two things. I am beautiful. I am enough. And I am telling you guys, at first it's going to be hard and you're going to speak it and you're going to like, this is weird. This Natalie chick is weird. Why is she making me do this? This is stupid. But I'm telling you, it takes root. It takes root. And it becomes infectious. And you begin to believe it and it oozes out of you. It oozes out of you. It is so important. So I challenge you guys to do that. It is going to dramatically change your life. I promise you. Just do it. Just do it. I promise you, you will not regret it. So I love you guys. Having a wonderful, wonderful Friday.
Just under 3 years ago, Natalie walked into the house and said, hey, I have found a thing I want to do. I'm like, okay, tell me about it. She's like, well, I had lunch with a friend and she explained to me this business opportunity. It's called Rodan+Fields. These are the two doctors that created Proactive, and they have a new anti-aging skincare line. I was like, okay, I mean, it sounds interesting, but you know, if you're gonna do it all the way or don't even bother. Like, don't spend money on a kid unless you're actually gonna work it. And she's like, I don't think you get this. This is big. Like, I will be able to retire you in 2 years. And I was like, okay. She hadn't done anything yet. And I'm like, 2 years? Sure. Well, we'll see. And then literally it was 2 days later, I was like, you know, I was thinking about it, and whether or not you can retire me in 2 years, let's not worry about that. Because at the time, I really loved my job. And she's like, no, like, this will be able to retire you in 2 years, and whether or not you want to retire, that's something else. But we'll talk about that then. I was like, okay, you go for it. I support you. So who am I? I graduated from Harvard Business School in 2010 with distinction, which means like towards the top of my class. Prior to that, I was an intelligence officer in the U.S. Navy for almost 7 years. And post my MBA at Harvard, I went into private equity, investing in real estate, investing in venture capital, investing in all kinds of different projects in the state of Hawaii. And so we were living in Honolulu, which is a very expensive place to live. So when she comes to me and says she's going to retire me, I'm like, I don't think she fully realized how much money I was making, which was pretty good and on its way to great. So anyways, she gets going, she gets started, and she got it. She worked it like a real business, and in part-time, she created full-time income. And then less than 3 years later, she has matched my income, which was and is still substantial. I am so incredibly proud of her. So let me tell you a little bit more about how I investigated the opportunity. So one of the things that she had mentioned is that she said that these are the two doctors that were Stanford-trained dermatologists that launched the Proactive brand. Now I was familiar with Proactive. They launched in infomercials and had a huge success and pretty much conquered the anti-acne market, mostly geared around, I think, younger adults and younger people that were suffering from acne. Phenomenal success. So she said there was an HBS case study being written about the business. So I had read about 500 case studies when going through there. So I was like, okay, if that's true, let me find it. I went to the website, it wasn't even published yet. As soon as it was published, I downloaded and read it. Sure enough, everything checked out. The people involved, the companies, their path to the market. So Rodan+Fields started as a skincare company in Nordstrom's, Bloomingdale's, went high-end retail. It's a crowded channel. They pulled it out of there, put it into direct selling, launched in 2008. Now they've had year-over-year 100% growth. This past year, they became the #2 premium skincare company in the United States, up from #4 the year prior. Sales went from $360 million a year to I think $626 million in 1 year. Absolutely unbelievable growth, and it's only the beginning. So she proved it to me. I've gone to many of the conventions, every single one actually since she started, and I have met the team. The team is highly credible. They're looking to build a 100-year brand, So how are they going about doing this? Well, when they were in the retail channels, they're competing with all of the other people for shelf space, and the retailer controls that channel. What they decided to do is to build a consultant base that would actually move the product by washing their face and sharing about it. This coincided with the rise of Facebook and the smartphone. So women that are connected all of a sudden had the tools at their disposal to launch, which means there didn't have to be any parties and you don't have to carry any inventory because they use the technology to direct fulfill all the product orders. So my wife went from making zero income because she had to stay home with the kids to making income that matches mine, which now has created the opportunity for me to have time freedom and for our family to have financial freedom. Whether I work or not now is a choice rather than a requirement to actually support lifestyle and family. And to me, it's one thing to make money, and trust me, I know where a lot of people are in that, because I'm the chief operating officer for a financial technology company that is actually a financial wellness company. And we're looking to help people manage their money better and work their way out of debt, save money, and build wealth, which is challenging for most Americans that are stuck on some sort of an income that is hard to grow with expenses that are growing every single year. With Rodan+Fields, you can build in part-time hours a full-time income that will accelerate your path to financial freedom. But what I was going to say was even more important than that is that it affords you time freedom. 2 years from now, when our kids are going to be 6 and 4, what I would love to do is take them around the world on a trip for 6 months. That was something I've always thought would be awesome, but how are you actually going to do that if you have to work and save and pay for preschool and pay for housing, everything else? Well, with Natalie's business, that is now a possibility for us. So I'm so incredibly proud of her and what she's done. So you too can do this. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people. I've met them personally. It is possible. You can work part-time hours, build a part-time income or a full-time income, and work on your fortune. So I encourage you to check out this opportunity. It will be worth it. The rewards do come if you put in the hard work.